Good morning, class 10th. This is your English period. We read lesson 2, the thief story. So now today we are going to do the question and answers. I will not only ask you to do the question, but I will also I will also tell you how to answer these questions. Now the first set of questions that we have is on page number 8. Who does I refer to in this story? In this story, I refers to the thief whose name is Hari Singh. In the story, he is also the narrator of the story. Simple. The second thing, what is a fairly successful hand at? A fairly successful hand means someone who is very expert in his profession or his work. A fairly successful hand means someone who is very expert in his work or in his profession. Here it means the narrator says that he was very expert in stealing and cheating people. This is the answer too. What does he get from Anil in return for his work? He got, remember, when the answer is always asked, the question is always asked in the present tense, and when you answer it, it is always in the past tense. So, Hari got food and shelter in return for his services for Anil. Once again, I say, repeat the answer. Hari got food and shelter in return for his services for Anil. Now, on page number 10, there are 3 more questions. How does the thief think Anil will react to the theft? Remember, the answer is on the same page. If you look at the paragraph 1, 2 and 3, third paragraph में last line में देखिएगा. He was the most trusting person I had ever met, and that's why it is so difficult to rob him. It is easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it is difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he has been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure of the work. Once again, I repeat, if you will look, the answer will start from the third paragraph, last line. He was the most trusting person I had ever met, and that's why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it is difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he had been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. This is the first answer. What does he say about the different reactions of the people when they are robbed? The answer is on page number 11, second last paragraph. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face when he discovered the theft would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. This is answer number 2 on page number 10. Once again, on page number 11, second last paragraph, the whole paragraph is the answer to question number 2. Does Anil realizes that he has been robbed? Now, the answer is, we have to answer it ourselves. It is not in the book. It is just an imagination or an analysis that we can say. The answer is very easy. The answer is very easy. That yes, Anil knew that he had been robbed, because when he, early in the morning, when he gave the 50 rupee note to Hari Singh, saying that this is his salary and every month he will get a salary, and from today he will teach him a whole sentence. Hari thought Anil knew nothing about last night event, but when he took the note, it was wet from the rain. This shows that Anil knew everything, but he was not expressing it. Neither his face nor his actions did not show anything that he knew everything, but in the real sense, he knew everything. Now this is the answer of the third question on page number 10. Now there's another question which I would like to give. Is something that will be asked. It can be asked in the board. Why did the thief, or why did Hari Singh returned to Anil? I am repeating the question. Why did Hari Singh return to Anil? He returned to Anil because Anil had promised him that he will teach him to write whole sentences, and he will also teach him to add and subtract. And Hari Singh knew that if once he is able to read and write, he could become an honorable, respected citizen, and he will leave this job of stealing forever. And there was only one man who can do it, and that was Anil. And that's why this whole sentences, this art of learning to read and write, forced him to return to Anil, and that's why he returned to Anil. And another question, what is the message of the story? The message of the story is that nobody is a thief by choice. It is the circumstances that always forces a man to become a thief. Now, this question also comes, what is the title of the story? The answer is the same. The message of the story, the theme of the story is the same. Why did he return, or what is the message of the story? The message of the story is very loud and clear, that nobody is a thief by choice. It is the circumstances that forces a man to become a thief. Thank you. Have a nice day, and God bless you.